Hello and welcome. I'm Cindy Daychuk with Queen Bee Creations. This is a weird camera angle, but I'm going to be working on this table and it necessitates my crawling around for a bit. If you saw a video that I did earlier, sometime last month, because it was stamping Christmas cards, and we actually made our own stamps. And I had commented that I was kind of practicing on the cards because I wanted to then try it on a piece of furniture. If you caught that and you've been waiting, this is the piece of furniture I'm going to give it a go on. So we'll see how it works. If you didn't see that, you don't know how we made the stamps, but I'm going to drop that in next. I'm just going to get some paint onto this baby first so that we have a surface ready for the stamping, which is the main point of this video and the fun part. It's the experiment part. So to get started, I am just going to get a couple of coats of Little Black Dress from DIY clay-based paint that I sell here in the shop, queenbeecreationshome.com, or use the paint of your choice. But I'm going to get a couple of coats on, one quick coat as the base, and then another solid coat coverage because we're going to be stamping over top of it, so I need that to be finished. So I'm going to get that done and then come back at you while this is drying to work on the stamps together a little bit. I was going to say fingers crossed, but I can't cross them. Okay, fingers crossed here. We'll come back. While our paint is drying, I wanted to talk a little bit about the tiles that we're going to use, the stamping blocks we're going to use. So there are rubber stamping blocks or pads that you can get. The ones I bought look like this. So you can see that they've got the white on either side and they've got the clear, sorry, not clear, but that kind of turquoisey blue. Oh, this is awkward. Okay. Turquoisey blue, rip it apart, in the center. So it gives you an idea of how far to carve down. When the white is gone, you've got the turquoise showing, you've gone far enough, which means you can use both sides, which is awesome. So you need a carving tool, and I just got this little inexpensive guy off of Amazon. So I will post the links to this and this if you need it. So I have done a couple of blocks that are squiggles. So anything that's white is where your ink or your paint is going to sit. So that's what's going to impress a pattern. I've done some on both sides. So these are just lines, right? These are like little square blocks. And I cut one block in half. So this one I want to do, I just take pencil and I want to carve away, kind of making this maze thing. So I'm gonna flip the camera around to show you how easy it is to carve this away. Just so that you know, this is way, way easier than the old tiles. When I was a kid, this rubber cuts super easy and I can do it injured. So let me flip around so that you can see what I'm doing. Before I get going, you can certainly just buy stamps to be able to use. This is just showing an alternative that you can create all your own kind of stamps and patterns, and you're not locked into what you're able to purchase. So these tools are kind of sharp, but you can see how easily you're able to just kind of score along, be able to get it out. In the end, ooh, this is the tricky part for me, is the twisting things off. There are a number of other blades, so you can go much wider, which I'm thinking that maybe I would like to, just to save a little bit on my hand here. Okay, so moment of truth here. I have lightly sanded this and kind of brushed it off, so cleaned it off, just so that once I get my stamps on there, I don't have to worry about sanding again. I tested, so let me show you what I did. I painted out some black on here, and I wanted to see whether or not the IOD inks would work on this, because they're easier to use than taking a roller, like a brayer, and doing it on paint. And I wanted to make sure that we'd be able to see them. I'm just doing white, so this is just white and black. And it worked fine. So you're never gonna get this looking even. It's gonna have that batik kind of worn look. The other thing that I did was I just kind of lightly stamped out some of the stamps just to see the pattern, so that I know what it would look like, and I can make some kind of decisions about what I want where. Kind of going from there. So I think that I'm going to start with this guy actually. So it's like, which side is that on? So this guy that I did. Now, again, with these, because you're doing it, you're not going to get perfect matches. So I'm looking at deliberately choosing to have some spaces in between. I don't have little corner sections. I don't have this mapped out. So in terms of 1, 2, 3, I can maybe get 4. So if I do it right along, I don't know. It's all a big crapshoot. So what I did do was I have taken the white ink and I have loaded up my pad, and I will keep it fairly loaded, fairly juicy, if you will, so that there's always lots of ink on it. I'm going to stamp down onto, can you get where this is better? So get lots of ink on there. And then, moment of truth. So no going back. Well, there is. I could sand it off and repaint, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, and then lifting it up. Okay, cool. All right. And there's just more of that happening. It's going the right way. Okay, this is looking pretty cool. I'm kind of digging this. All right, I am going to continue to stamp. I'm going to do this side and then this side, and then decide if I do the same there or something different. I don't know. It's going to depend upon spacing, I think, more than anything else. Okay, now I've got the top and the bottom done. The legs look a little bit too stark. So what I have done is I have taken a little makeup sponge and I cut one to be able to have a square shape and one to have a little triangle shape. I didn't want to do circles because these are all kind of straight lines, right? We've got kind of the squares and the triangles happening, so I wanted to kind of stay in keeping with it. And I don't want to do the whole leg, but I do want to have a little bit of something happening, and especially up along this edge in here too. I was thinking I could fit in maybe, you know, this pattern right up in along here-ish a little bit. So the sponges work fine. I'm gonna take my triangle maybe and just show you. Can you see? Just kind of works out perfect. And again, these are kind of irregularly shaped, and that's okay because nothing here is perfect. It has kind of that batik-y look. I have little lines from where I hadn't carved enough stuff out, and I'm okay with that. And where the paint was a little bit more raised, a little bit lower, that's awesome too. So I'm cool with all of that. And I'm just going to kind of add in some little bits and pieces. Now I am sticking with the ink for this just so that it's got that same consistent faded, worn look. I'm not gonna have to sand it after because it's got that sanded, worn look happening already. So perfect. In which case, I want to keep that same look. I don't want to have all of a sudden a super bright white happening anywhere. I want it to be consistent looking, so I'm going to be doing this with the same white. And you can see, I'm just eyeballing. I'm just faking it. So, I mean, you can agonize over it if you want to. I'm just sticking with the surfaces where it makes sense, and I'm just kind of eyeballing roughly that's even and going for it. I have let the top dry for an hour. The black was already dry overnight, so it was dry. The ink dries pretty darn fast. I gave it extra time. This was an hour. That's me being patient. And I am now going to be using DIY clear wax. And I want to give you an idea of how permanent that ink is. So you can see it's not moving, it's not smudging. So you could use a poly to finish this, you could definitely use a wax. I'm gonna get this all waxed up. I'm gonna wipe the excess off and I'm gonna let it dry overnight so that I can come back in tomorrow morning and I can buff it up and then we can take a look at it finished together. This is our finished little table. Now, you could do the same kind of project and same process using any kind of pre-purchased stamps. I mean, IOD has beautiful stamps. I sell them here in the store, queenbeecreationshome.com. Help yourself, purchase whatever stamps you would like. But the beauty of this, and what I wanted to show you more than anything else, is that you are not limited to just the looks that you could purchase. You could have fun making your own stamps, using them for wrapping paper and cards, furniture, creating completely unique looks that are all your own. Don't feel you're limited to only the stamps that you can purchase that anybody else can purchase. You can make completely unique pieces of furniture and completely unique designs that are based on solely your own carvings, your own artwork. It was also a lot of fun. The other side is I now have these same patterns that I could use for other projects. I could use them in junk journaling. I could use them for other furniture pieces, for card making, for wrapping paper, for anything I can think of. These are now mine and they are unique to me. And somehow that makes it just a little bit more special. Let me know what you think of this, guys. Certainly let me know if you're going to give it a try. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next one. And until then, take care.